Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. Well, we have the Acoustic B50C bass guitar amp. It's got a 10-inch speaker, 4-band EQ with a shaping switch, overdrive with lead and blend, 1/8-inch headphone out, and 1/8-inch auxiliary in. Now, if you want to take a look at the 25-watt model and the 100-watt, well, the specs are already on the top of the sheet of the amp, so I'll read those off. The 25C has an 8-inch speaker, 3-band EQ with a shaping switch, overdrive with lead and level blend, 1/8-inch headphone, and of course 1/8-inch auxiliary in. And the 100-watt Mayhem Monster has got a 12-inch speaker in it, 4-band EQ, variation, notch filter, shape switch, foot switchable overdrive with level and blend, 1/8-inch headphone out and 1/8-inch auxiliary in, as well as XLR direct out to go to your PA system, and an FX loop setup. So, a lot more features in the 100-watt model. So, and twice the puppy power. Now this is currently at half blast on the clean, which gives you just a volume knob, and of course your EQ is definitely there for you. Now the guitar we're using is my Epiphone SG EVO bass, so it's got one humbucker in the neck. So we got some nice serious throb. Now let's just get it over with and go to full power. Let's take a look at that overdrive channel. The overdrive is going to be controlled by the volume and these two controls at the same time. This thing is vibrating like everything in this room. There's our shaper. having the shaper and not. I think it sounds better without it, personally. Really like the overdrive though, that's kind of cool. If you don't have an overdrive pedal, well, you got it built in, so hey, if you like what's there, give her. And the overdrive is also these two controls here, but also tied into your main volume as well. Alright, well, you guys can let me know what you think in the comments below. I think overall it's a pretty cool amp. It does have some good thump to her, especially with a humbucker in the neck. Definitely going to have a little bit different sound on something with some single coils. We could do that, but I don't want to make the video too long for you guys, okay? But trust me, I've tried it. Sounds really good with the single coils too. But try one out yourself with a bass that you have of your own. Bring your bass with you, try it out at the store, see what you think of it. There's a lot of places that sell the acoustic brand. This one, of course, comes from Long & McQuade. I got this at the North Bay location. And like I said, they've got the 25, the 50, and the 100 watt model, all with different features, of course, obviously. You basically get the exact same features on the 25 and 50 watt. It's the 100 watt where you get all the bells and whistles. But even for the 50 watt, it's got quite a bit there. You can do an awful lot with that 4-band EQ, and then if you want to use the shaping control to further shape your sound or tone, with clean or with overdrive, it's your deal. I don't see any reason why you couldn't just plug in a bass guitar processing board and forget everything and just use the regular clean channel that way. None of this stuff is switchable on this amp, so that's something to keep in mind. If you need foot switch access to go between clean and overdrive, you might want to get a separate bass overdrive pedal for that. But anyway, I think as far as, for gigability, definitely it's going to work for you in smaller venues and in most churches, it'll definitely keep up without even having to be mic'd up yet. It would keep up, so I don't see that as being a real issue there. It does get quite loud. It vibrates everything. I've had it chime the strings already on my acoustic guitars. It just puts out quite a bit once you start cranking stuff up there and you start EQing stuff just right. And yeah, you're going to definitely snap the strings off your frets on your guitars that are on the wall. So it kind of makes like an interesting little sound when you're jamming in this room. But now I know for you guys, you're not going to hear it quite as loud. But if you want a quality sound, do yourself a favor. Get yourself some good in-ear monitor earbuds or headphones or, good speakers. I use reference monitors on my computer because they give the best optimal sound quality. And I need them anyways for listen back when I do recording in here. So, yeah, it's a win-win for me either way. But if you got crummy speakers, that's your problem. You might want to think about upgrading those. But otherwise, yeah, I think for the package that it is. Now this thing also can lay down as a wedge. It's got feet on the back corner, so you can lay it down as a wedge style too, which is definitely going to change your sound and how you hear things. I'm standing it upright, so there's a lot that I don't hear because I'm above the speaker, and volume levels are affected that way too. When a speaker is pointed more toward your ears, you hear a lot more of what's really going on, which in this case would be you know, still clean, but a lot louder when you put it into a wedge setup. But, so yeah, it's got that benefit too of going both directions. It does have some weight, so keep in mind, this thing is not a lightweight amp, so, you know, but it's not massively heavy either, so, I mean, most people will have no issues with it. I do not even want to think about the weight of the 100-watt model. I haven't even seen the 100-watt model even for size comparison difference, but this one's got the 10-inch and the 100 watts can have the 12, so I would expect it to be a little bit wider, bigger cabinet, definitely a lot more weight to it, and of course double the horsepower among other features. I think if you're more looking into the higher end side of things, I would recommend the 100-watt. But for the majority of small venues and churches, to a certain point of a church sanctuary obviously, I don't see why you can't just play live with this, you know, just the way it is as a 50-watter and not even have to mic it up. But outdoor performances, yeah, you're going to have to mic it up, right? Especially with a full band going behind you. You're definitely going to be looking at micing it up. But you could, that's the thing, right? Anyhow, I would put this thing, I give it a solid 4 out of 5. And that's only because even though it says it's 50 watts, it does lack the dB to back it up. I'm probably thinking it's more like a realistic 30 to 35 watts with the decibels that it's actually working with for the volume levels and where they're sitting. I think that would be more realistic. But, you know, it is what it is, right? Things aren't measured the way they used to be back in the day. Like, if you wanted something with 100 watts, you got 100 watts. You got super loud, high output for 100 watts. You know, even in bigger speakers and smaller speakers, I mean, they could really pump out the jam, you know. But things have changed over the years with the way they combine wattages and dB levels, and it's kind of weird and stupid at the same time. And I find this happening a lot. Probably why I'm more attracted to vintage amps over modern day amps. You know, the vintage ones actually, when they said 100 watts, you got it. You know what I mean? So, but that's kind of where I'm at with this. But I still recommend the amp. I mean, if you're a beginner bass player and you want at least enough power to jam with your buddies even, this is going to work. You know, I see no reason why not. And like I said, a lot of churches and small venues, yep, it'll work, I figured, just fine for this purpose without miking it up. It's when you get into the bigger venues, outdoor events, you're going to have to mic up the amp. So that or lean more towards the 100-watt amp and then plug direct into your PA, and you'll have absolutely zero issues, no matter where you go with it. But I do think it's a nice amp, though. I've had their guitar amp before, and I liked it. It was pretty good. They're inexpensive. These are like this one here. It's like $300, brand new. You can get a used one for far less, obviously. But I like the controls. I like how stiff they are. They're gonna, you know, stay put. They don't feel loose or sloppy. They're very smooth, and they got some good friction to them. So that's very important. As far as if you want just the basics but with an overdrive circuit, it works, you know, and it's actually pretty good for in the studio here too. I think it'll be a nice addition to the studio, you know, so whether I mic it up to do recording with it or what have you, I think it would be a nice addition that way. I kind of wished it did have an XLR out, because then I could just go direct to the PA and not have to worry about it. But in this case, well, I guess I'll be micing it up if I want to do recording with this amp particularly. But otherwise, I can just plug direct into my system and, you know, use you know, some sort of a simulator edition from like Logic or whatever, and get whatever bass amp I want, kind of thing, right? But yeah, I think either way it's a good win. I think you'd probably be pretty happy with this thing, at least as a starting point at 50 watts. I'm not sure if I would go to the 25 watt version, only because I've had 25 and 50 watt bass amps in the past. Didn't really care for the amount of volume that they put out. They were just too little amount for me. But that's me. Everybody's different. You know, you can buy whatever you like. But I think the 50 watt is definitely, it's their middle of the road, and it definitely, it is nice. So Anyway, that's what I got for you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this thing, and just keep in mind, wear earbuds, or good ones, or have good speakers on your computer, or good headphones when you listen to YouTube videos. Trust me, it has definitely got some jam in it. So I mean, you're going to hear what you hear. It's a reference point, right? And you're hearing my room acoustics at the same time, because I'm recording direct to my DSLR camera, which has its own mic on the side. And so that's what it picks up, and it's a good quality mic, so at least we're getting good quality audio here. But that's what you get for in here. Anyway, that's it. That's all. Thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you on the next one. Ciao.